The best Chromebooks offer an accessible, family-friendly, and typically more affordable alternative to Windows laptops and MacBooks, all while still offering the strong performance and lightweight designs needed to get ahead in school or work. Many Chromebooks will offer better value for money than the best Windows laptops, despite providing similar everyday performance, since Google unveiled its new Chromebook Plus format last year and more recently pushed ahead with implementing its Gemini AI into Chrome OS. There are now more Chrome-powered laptops on the market than ever. The Acer Chromebook Spin 314 is ideal for those who just want a straightforward and cheap solution to getting that full laptop experience. Unlike other budget-level Chrome OS models, it comes with a 14-inch 1080p display and enough power to do everyday tasks. In fact, it handled day-to-day performance well when tested. Of course, we were not so impressed by its 128 GB of storage, but that's one of the compromises here. Along with the fact that it can get a little warm if you push it beyond its limits, as it's powered by an Intel Pentium chip and 4 GB of RAM. The silver plastic chassis and overall rounded design remind me of the laptops my dad used to use, and sometimes let me play Minesweeper on, and I think the choice to go back to basics was a smart move on Acer's part. Of course, it wouldn't be called a spin if it didn't spin well. At least offer some kind of mobility. The full HD touchscreen offers impressively sharp colors without feeling too harsh, and the ability to turn your thin laptop into a slightly chunky tablet thanks to the 360-degree hinge is perfect if you want to snuggle up in bed to binge your favorite shows. The Acer Chromebook Spin 314 runs on Google's Chrome OS, the easiest system to navigate and learn if you're just starting out on your laptop journey. It's suitable for most everyday tasks, like browsing the web, collaborating on documents, streaming a favorite show, or just watching YouTube. The laptop is generally geared towards lightweight web-based activities, though that's not to say it isn't a strong contender for our list of best student laptops or even the best Chromebooks, the Acer Chromebook. Spin 314 can pull a decent level of speed and computing prowess from its Intel Pentium Silver and 6000 processor, and both within the benchmarks and general stress tests, plus frantic multitasking for me trying to do a million things at once. The battery life of the Acer Chromebook Spin 314 lives up to the 10-hour estimate provided by Acer, clocking in at 10 hours and 15 minutes during our battery life benchmark. Younger students are sure to benefit from the Lenovo IdeaPad Flex 3, which packs a rather rugged build quality that is well suited for users who want to quickly stuff everything in their backpack or are likely to drop things on the floor. The keyboard base is solid and the hinge is very robust, enabling it to survive any amount of careless handling. This isn't the most powerful Chromebook, but students need reliability more than power, especially if they are only really using it for homework, note-taking, and perhaps the occasional bit of Netflix. Fortunately, the IdeaPad Flex 3 has a seriously impressive battery life. Our testing yielded a whopping 16-hour and 20-minute result, which will allow them to make it through a whole day of school without needing to plug in. It's also very affordable, which should provide a nice bit of financial relief for parents who need to buy their kids a school laptop. Rounding out the main features, wireless connectivity takes the form of Wi-Fi 802.11 AC and Bluetooth 4.2. Cutting edge, the Flex 3 is not, but the core functionality is all present. D-Box Power Up, and it's initially hard to look past those bezels. The Lenovo IdeaPad Flex 3 Chromebook has some pretty epic borders around its 11-inch touch-capable display. The lower chin in particular is enormous. The immediate consequence is a device a full size larger than it would be with more modern bezels. It's around the same proportions as many 13-inch laptops. Arguably, that's not ideal for a device that also doubles as a tablet. The smaller generally, the better when holding tablet devices where there's a Windows machine. That Intel Celeron chip, 4 GB of memory, and 64 GB eMMC SSD would be enough to invoke fear of the almighty as an almighty awful performance, but not in a Chromebook. Granted, the Lenovo IdeaPad Flex 3 Chromebook is no powerhouse, but running Google's Chrome OS and the G Suite of apps is more effective than you might think. That Intel chip has decent video decoding chops too, thanks to some dedicated hardware. So decoding video streams or locally stored video files puts very little load on these CPU cores. You can generally count on smooth video playback. Same can't quite be said of scrolling around apps and web pages. However, the touch functionally is reasonably responsive. The stuttering and stalling is momentary rather than chronic, more demanding web pages such as Google Drive do occasionally feel a little laggy, but it's not enough to truly slow you down. The Lenovo IdeaPad Flex 3's Intel Celeron and 4020 CPU is not normally something to show off about. However, it surely contributes to the fairly epic 16 hours plus of video playback. That's true all-day battery life, and it's the kind of performance you'd never get from a budget system with a full-fat Intel Core process. Clearly, less is sometimes more. The HP Elite Dragonfly Chromebook is still the best Chrome-powered laptop on the market, even if its pricing means that it won't be the best pick for everyone, at least not in its higher-end configurations. While it's probably the most premium Chromebook ever to hit retail, there are a few more affordable entry-level models that will make a strong case for any students looking for a slick, powerful laptop with Chrome OS. It's one of the most powerful Chromebook we've ever tested. In fact, it's the best-scoring Chromebook in our Kraken and Jetstream. 2 tests, beating out the Acer Chromebook Spin 713 by nearly 200 points. Even the entry-level 12th Gen Core i3 configuration still packs some seriously solid specs that would make a lot of other Windows and macOS laptops blush, featuring some of the best security features we've ever seen on a Chromebook, including the first Chromebook to ever come powered by Intel vPro. This is the perfect lightweight and portable productivity Chromebook. Just be prepared to spend a whole lot of money for the privilege. The HP Elite Dragonfly Chromebook is a gorgeous device to look at, even measured against the rest of the Elite Dragonfly family, which has always been beautifully designed. There's simply no denying that this is a fairly minimalist-looking laptop. The display is made of Corning Gorilla Glass 5 and comes with either a 2260x 1504p or 1920x 1280p resolution, but in either case, this is going to be one of the best-looking displays you've probably seen on a Chromebook that isn't an OLED. The keyboard is a little tight, but that's to be expected from a 13.5-inch laptop, and the keys have sufficient travel and feedback to be comfortable to use and functional to type on with accuracy. The HP Elite Dragonfly Chromebook is the most powerful Chromebook we've ever tested, but it's also the first we've ever gotten our hands on that features the new Intel 12th generation U-series processors. This makes it difficult to compare it to its competition right now, since it really isn't a fair fight at all. Acer Chromebook Spin 713 review, we raved about the Core i5 1135G7 CPU's performance, which ended up having the highest octane 2.0 score of any Chromebook we reviewed last year. 59,918. Well, the Elite Dragonfly Chromebook blows that away with a 79,914, a nearly 20,000 point difference with essentially the same specs other than the processor, the Elite Dragonfly. Chromebook is also the best scoring Chromebook in our Kraken and Jetstream. 2 tests, beating out the Chromebook Spin 713 by nearly 200 points, 506 to 691, respectively. Lower is better in this case. If there is anywhere that HP Elite's Dragonfly Chromebook stumbles, it's battery life. That's not to say that it's terrible. The Dragonfly lasted for 6 hours and 22 minutes in our HD movie test, but this is significantly weaker than many other competing Chromebooks, especially those running ARM-based processors. This wasn't unexpected either, since Intel Alder Lake chips are energy-hungry no matter the performance tier. But in our day-to-day experience with it, we were able to get a typical 8-hour workday out of this laptop on a full charge, sometimes running on fumes towards the end. Fortunately, the laptop utilizes quick charge technology to get you back up to speed in relatively short order. Gaming Chromebooks are still a topic of some debate. Many will argue that they're not truly gaming devices since they rely on cloud-based game streaming services such as NVIDIA GeForce Now to actually run the latest games without the need for powerful local hardware. By this metric, any Chromebook can be a gaming Chromebook. With the 516GE, though, Acer is making a surprisingly strong case for this new breed of Chromebooks. GE naturally stands for Gaming Edition, and this is just that. A solid Intel-powered Chromebook with some slick new features added in to appeal to the gaming audience. Chief among these is this display. A crisp and colorful QHD panel with a 16:10 aspect ratio to provide more screen real estate. With 100 sRGB color reproduction and good maximum brightness, it's one of the best screens we've ever seen on a Chromebook. The 120 Hz refresh rate is also vital for ensuring a smooth frame rate during intense gameplay. The first thing you'll notice about the Acer Chromebook 516GE is that it's huge for a Chromebook, which makes sense since it's built for gaming. It's not exactly sleek looking either, with a plain black chassis that's more round than slender, but it's still pretty lightweight despite it all. Though the chassis is light, it doesn't feel nearly as flimsy as many Chromebooks tend to, though it doesn't have the same hardy weight and build as your average Windows gaming laptop. It works to the 516CE's advantage, making it far more portable and easier to carry around than said laptops. The keyboard functions well, with nice-sized keys that avoid excessive typos and a solid, responsive touchpad. It also comes with RGB backlighting, which makes it well-suited for late-night gaming sessions as well. We wish it had a numlock pad, which would have been super convenient for both gaming and any productivity work you might want to do. The display is surprisingly great for a Chromebook sporting a QHD panel with a 16:10 aspect ratio, 100 sRGB color reproduction, solid maximum brightness, and a 120 Hz refresh rate. All this means is that games will look and run well on screen, which is vital for more hardcore gaming sessions featuring fast-paced, high-end PC titles running a streaming service like NVIDIA GeForce Now. The Acer Chromebook 516GE performs quite well. We tried it out using titles like Dying Light 2 and Dirt 5, which often have tons of objects or enemies on screen, and would serve as a solid stress test for the Chromebook. Even using the basic streaming plan that offers a strict time limit and no frills like a more powerful graphics card, we rarely experienced any frame rate drops, and the graphics were quite good. The RTX 3080 tier, which is the highest possible tier for the GeForce Now service, is where the 516GE shines. The graphics and frame rate are incredible, to the point that you forget you're even playing on a Chromebook in the first place, of course. This all depends on the strength of your internet connection, so it's also best to invest in a high-speed connection. The display is surprisingly great for a Chromebook, sporting a QHD panel with a 16:10 aspect ratio, 100 sRGB color reproduction, solid maximum brightness, and a 120 Hz refresh rate. All this means is that games will look and run well on screen, which is vital for more hardcore gaming sessions featuring fast-paced, high-end PC titles running a streaming service like NVIDIA GeForce Now. The Acer Chromebook 516GE performs quite well. We tried it out using titles like Dying Light 2 and Dirt 5, which often have tons of objects or enemies on screen, and would serve as a solid stress test for the Chromebook. Even using the basic streaming plan that offers a strict time limit and no frills like a more powerful graphics card, we rarely experienced any frame rate drops, and the graphics were quite good. The RTX 3080 tier, which is the highest possible tier for the GeForce Now service, is where the 516GE shines. The graphics and frame rate are incredible, to the point that you forget you're even playing on a Chromebook in the first place. Of course, this all depends on the strength of your internet connection, so it's also best to invest in a high-speed connection.